Doja. It's an amazing time, and I've followed all of the conversation on social media, the pictures, the videos, and of course, and I'm very sure that by tonight, when he's settled and alone in his chamber, to become a senator alone, it's enough for you as an achievement. Then you went on to become a governor of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja. Coronated point, bow down to, are also right there, congratulating him and also felicitating with His Royal Majesty Oba Senator Rashid Akomu Adewolu. I don't know, maybe there could be a best Ibadan man that ever lived. Yesterday, Barrister Abdurrahim Adebayo Shitu was, and of course, he's a strong APC chieftain, and he said on the show that he's going to be contesting the primaries for to, especially as they have arguably maybe they are looking for the very best things of it. Oshemeji. Yeah, and then when I said the powers that be, the movers and shakers, witnessing history and also celebrating with his friend, they go way back. Remember, storm into a semi-war zone where Ibadan ruler, yes, not exactly the king. I remember that video he released. That was where the problem started. Oh, you have to give me this conspiracy. By the end of the day, he was also installed. Had to also step aside. Now he's late. Players in that narrative, Ladoja will bring peace. Remember that I am from Ibadan. Before you 2 hours, Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, the former president in Ibadan, at the very position with politics. Leaders, are currently on, and congrats.
And a fresh twist adds up to the old subplot. And the grass suffers, and the main actors to take their turns on pressing issues, dissecting events as they unfold across every sector of human.
Thank you very much for joining us. We are on Witness Olubadan of Ibadan land. Let's keep. I decided to reach out for us to translate whatever change this and that, even before the issue of. And then I've been following. That concern is this: go to the streets of go to Angwaru Kuba in Jos, go to it's giving us the wars we've had in a very long time. Now nobody's even talking of power, a balanced bank. You're stepping out, people are running to you for help. You go into eateries, one will tell you that the times are supporters of the president. They'll say, oh, Nios is so and so, but in reality, when you go around, what exactly is the state of the nation? It fails to prioritize the welfare and the security of the people. I've actually failed in doing anything else. You can build a flag. They're part of the system. Increase revenue and decrease we have. What would you rather have? 5 million naira today. We have all of these indices in showing that the economy is stabilizing. Complications or so much call back my guest. It looks to me like, and then we're going to be looking at the dynamics of Nigerian economy moving from
Good afternoon, Pᴏʟɪᴏy. Thank you very much for
have you join us. If this man had come to confirm, it's been about the policies of this. The MGS, Dr. Zacchaeus had some of the figures that people 50,000 from America mentioned is not coming from. You made the last time you joined us on the show.
And thank you also for having questions. And I also am confused to providing clarity more specifically where we want to be with our economic activities. We have seen progress. The documentary report that came out, the GDP has expanded that by H1, that's half year 2025, we'll be doing 4.6 that we have had in this country. But in terms of GDP growth in 2015, Nigeria did 82, then 2018 1.95, 2022 3.25, 2023 2.8 balance that. This 3.10 that we are seeing, this is sustainable. First quarter of 2025, then we will see 4.5% by, and now we are 4.23. If you look at that trajectory, we have had a short range of money. Last year, 2024, we did 3 point. This figure, then we agree is now working. We can say that yes, we can see we have evidences to show that as fully recovered IMF and other
fresh twist adds up to the old subplot. And we bring together the main actors to the Situation Room with O꽌. The Situation Room, we are always watching.
That's why I can say that.
Hello there. Remember the saying, safety first. Your safety matters, and knowing how to make an emergency call can save lives. In times of trouble, knowing what to do and who to call can make all the difference. In case of fire, if you see something suspicious, what do? Also, health or having a medical emergency, what then? Or 767. Remember, 1. Describe the emergency. Follow any instructions. Don't be punishable by law. Let's work together. And 2. In an emergency. This message is brought to you by Mainland.
Do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed, and that the pay is not good enough to take you home. That you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different. Stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from
thank you very much. So all of that beautiful. If you give all of this number, decently well in terms of stability on the daily change, GDP, inflation, and all of that, to be sure that she's going to go to the market and use the little money she has. Kano, for instance, she's not interested in inflation or all of this thing.
Okay, great question. And this is when, in terms of GDP, does and every other person who are, terms who boom, you have rural. What that means is that money there. Once you can take 2024, and if you look at it here, put more money on, that one effect of this GDP will not be felt until transportation inflation in government hand. But what has it done is it takes their, in order we're taking the money from them, 28%. So grant this development at the sub-regional level, why the government and what
state government,
the state government. So if we employ people, then we are still people in the federal. And the only way to feel that is to ensure that this safety net that the creating and all these things are also captured in the net. So they can have something in their pocket. So that means that individuals like that will not be able to afford them. I think government can do to ensure that the old or even us as individuals are citizens of Federal Republic of Nigeria, what we can do 4.23 growth in N9 GDP. People that are still experiencing high inflation. Like I said, it's that they are collecting the pricing of fuel. Not just that.
Of course.
So people are paying more, not just to buy food. Sales rise with economic activity. But the pocket in employment today is still approximately, if it is 5% and underemployment is doing approximately 20% on youthful age, right? If you now have about, up to like 25%, they cannot, put food on their table. And the one that don't have this job, how do you want them to survive? So just in 2024, another, for the main government. So actually, they can have more money to spend on fintechs, on development. So what they need to do is to ensure that everybody works together. If we must see the trickle down effect of everybody's that, who do we blame? Should we blame actually growth in GDP, FDIs and STIs also use our deficit in terms of budget? We have also increased. It is now time for us to start. Nobody can actually blame Ashwaji as of this moment. He does everything right to expand this economy. The only then the macroeconomic prognose and we see nothing less than 3.75%. So how are these lot of things have to be done, at the macro level?
Okay, so perceptions and misconceptions around it from us, and you're giving it to the governors, and we're almost not seeing what the governors are using into the governors' account, and the governors are not exact. So I'm going to play you the sound bite where the president, and I'm struggling to put body and soul together. Interest rate had also been the same, I'm still trying to understand to be basic have now gradually become luxury for people to feed on. How do I interpret it in my thoughts that GDP is this, inflation?
The only option that we have right now is that before when government will be so rich. Government will be so rich, the citizens will have to pay so much money.
How?
Because you see, when you have the government from the people. So one would argue that 250 million, right, every quarter. Subsidies savings in each. This is the money that have been going to cost. The government now have more money to do loan repayment. What we have is AFDB have been completely paid down. So 300 or so. I also want to buy phone like that. But the truth is that government cannot go back to resources, right? Government look at what and where they can get money to cut budget. And the ton of subsidies, the era of subsidy, so much money that has to be that. See what Dagote said about the most very close to the truth. You see the balance sheet. You see what the subsidy now does not know what it's doing. It doesn't know what it's doing. So what we do, subsidize or reduce the pain that Nigerians are currently. One or two things has been seen to have been done that they are who are going to. They don't have to pay for it.
Mr. When I open it, and a lot of them would disagree with you. My opinion does not count at this point. Days of subsidy per liter, go to the park, people only goes to Abuja. So if you convince subsidy will mean that there will be better life. Transportation alone, just not even a luxury apartment, as basically even talking about an imported car. How many Nigerians can afford brand new cars? I'm not seeing it on the people. Oh, you talked about the road infrastructures, for goodness sake, subsidy, but we're not seeing the effect of the subsidy remover.
I said, for me, as an economist, I feel like the day of subsidy is far gone. It's behind us now. We have moved on. Hard won games. That structure, the fiscal policies of government is working. You can see it. Our fiscal for that vulnerability. Though I agree with you when you said that, of course, we offer short term that we are seeing subsidy are far more rich. Aim to keep petrol prices at today, if you have money, you can buy properly. Before, even if you have money, if the commodities go to be available, you can buy it. Revenue sharing between states and local government has boosted fast. We now have more money to save. And we would listen to me and be like, what is this guy saying? Our debt service, debt 8%. What does this mean? He has eased down the borrowing ratio is between 54 to has dropped from a whooping 97% to 68% in 2024. Now let's move on to federal allocation. Our federal account, which are around, I think, 28 trillion naira in 2024, to states, the least up to even 1 trillion at some point. So what we are saying right now is that so to further ease this on every we are saying that for the period of 3 months 2024, if you can revive our these differences will not be felt. And any question that's supposed to be asking is that what is government? How can you factor a commercial airline to federal government? So this argument of returning, subsidy, the long-term effect of our fiscal
exactly, on that line of thought that subsidy should be public hearing about the investigation into so I know, at least I have an idea of the EU subsidy. So what I'm basically just saying is this: if you are taking, so going to be subsidizing you so that you can get cheaper fuel, if it's going to be available for artificial scarcity, it seems we've moved away from that. It's from the depot is that 840 naira or thereabouts. So I mean, the market forces are kind of the governors rather. Oh, we should move away from the national. Let's check subnationals. Look around us. ASU wakes up today and say they are going on strike again. because they said the government mediated on their behalf. Can you assure Nigerians, as an economist, a charter for us to start seeing this? I have a soundbite. And the president talked about the fact that there's light of the Olubadan in Ibadan. I'm going to play you that soundbite now. But from your own projection, you've projected where we are the economy. So maybe I want you to also help us make.
Okay, I mean, like we normally do when we come, it's going to be from low to medium and to the very difficult one. Even from the people, this is a petition. People will go, tax has now come to stay. So if you are not being paid before, you be forced to pay now. So that at the end of the day, people will laugh. And that election will be what the government doing with it. They'll probably this reform, especially this tax reform, in the fourth quarter of 2026. Because we are now going to an election, a little bit of pain. Is collecting less today. They will be collecting more tomorrow. If they're collecting more, except and only if we have maladministration, if that, but people will have to be patient. Not saying anything, they cannot start asking questions. Now, 2026, when people are paying, we would expect what
I've gotten what I want because if I should come in here, put propaganda or launder the image of the government. So that's why I asked you that as an economist, as someone that has spent years, and I actually the tax regime will play out. So it's in general the relevant information that should do enough in terms of talking to the people how the tax, the new laws will take off from the 1st of January. Mr. Oscar, I will keep you on standby. I have the 44th Olubadan, and then he talked about where the economy is at the moment. But I'm going to play you one that the president said a couple of months back that, you know what, I'm trying my best. I'm really Tinubu. You're live from Milan 98.3 FM, and my guest on the show today has been Mr. Issues. The numbers are looking promising. Economists are saying, the economy is stabilized. They tell you that life is still not picking up. The struggle is still real. Street to go to the places of worship, it looks like it's the same. Milan FM, my guest is still here on stamp just a few minutes ago in Ibadan. Stick around.
Yeah, today. But we are running a constitutional democracy. I'm doing my best to improve the revenue of the country and giving them their due. But they must, if people reside in the local government, that is where they cook for this money. And when we want the votes, we go to the locals. When we get the votes, we move to Abuja.
Ayọ̀ ńlá tí Ọlọ́run fún wa lénìí kò ní dìbànújẹ́. Kú tọ́jú mi, mo ti wá síbí sí òkè. Adé ti wà ń bẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé o. I'm honored and I'm very proud. At the end of the tunnel, your suffering is a pain of a painful surgery. But thank you for your perseverance. Thank you for your endurance. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you, God.
Well, let me continue from where the president stopped thanking the people of Ibadan just a few minutes ago. And I had to play those soundbites back to back. I missed at 2 different times. The first one, he talked about all of the monies I'm giving to your government win election will move to Abuja. That was economy had turned the corners. That.
Okay, when you are attention. Because apparently, you always ask the most. let me answer you the best way I can. You've gone through chemotherapy, and you're just recovering, and you're asking that person how long. That is just hysterics. What you said, what I assumed at the 2015 to 2025. I said this decade, the 10 years economic downtrodden, the decade that had 2 recessions between 2015 and 2025 years. We have had persistent had COVID, we have had inflation spikes, right? In 2016, let's remember, when we had the entire economy of the world, right? Then we have pandemic lockdown too. COVID-19 also is like a very major issue for us below 2%. Now, I also said, I said post 2021, I've seen right now is that in 2024 Q2 growth in GDP, and in Q4, that's full year 2024, half year 2025 is 4.23. That's a whooping in order to diversify the economy, right? So this period of low average underscore economy is doing well without oil. What is growing this economy right now is the oil contributing to approximately, I'm sorry to, I'm not really that kind of person who wants to do the other thing. We do it. So what do we need to do right now? We are only a federal system. What the federal government is sharing in terms of fact right now, I think it's about 52.68% of revenue. This devolution now means, what is devolution? Devolution. You ask for instruction, they are giving you devolution. We are getting no for infrastructural development at the grassroots. What are these developments that we are supposed to be seeing? Nigerians, take notice an improvement in Nigerian system. We are supposed to see improvement in the healthcare system. There has to be, and more importantly, electricity has also been generated. They underperform. We have to hold these governors responsible. And only them responsible means we have to be part of performance. We have to demand for results from the state executive and the government. Disproportionate blame. We the entire revenue. Bring the source. Questions every day. In terms of VAT, IG house. You know that devolution giving accountable reviews of what has come in approximately. This is what everybody must do. We must monitor funds. We must do what I call citizen engagement, town halls, then what I call grassroots pressure of responsibility on local government autonomy. So what does that look at? Claiming they give to those workers? All forms of employment from local government. Ask them why they are not giving the local governors come back and say, I'm giving them all those things are stories for our head. It's about enforcing what you call social contract. Governor has swear oath. They have to be accountable to us. They have to be money. Tax disbursement has just hit a record high in 2025. And this is only long gone. We agree, yes, there are devaluation probably have boosted oil revenue for 2023, 2024, and 2025 in VAT. It's 86% increment year on year. Where are all this money going to? Yes, of government. I will get less like the lion's share of the state and local government. If a state is receiving, let's even say, first quarter, state is receiving almost 750 million. About, if I'm not mistaken, 750 billion.
Just 6 months of the sole administrator, almost 300 billion.
The least state has received not less than 54%. I don't know this is something. What do you think will happen in 2023?
That audio of the president telling us to go spend on the table of the president, but we should also remember our governors. We should also be able to ask them questions. If they're saying, "Oh, the president, this and that," the governor accounts. Now, I mean, just look at the figures that my guest has been reeling out.
Can I quickly, in terms of real-time economic system,
dollars.
you live in Lagos in terms of particular delivery. In Lagos, would have some level of stance. But after you wait for election,
Nigerians are getting more, changes in the electoral laws with INEC. Should we also, start looking close all the books and hide all of the details before they start going after you, and then you run into the Senate? I was reading something from Sɪᴛᴜᴛᴜᴏ, the head of to put it in context, when you have someone is just like, Arsenal man, you wants to play, insinuating anything, But I'm just basically saying that maybe we can be more democratic in the process of our task. Why don't we allow the professors to choose amongst themselves who would be the chairman of INEC? This was going to be short, but I've taken the entire 70 minutes or thereabout to keep you on this show. Thank you. The difficult days that you put.
Very much. Okay, I would have loved to mention directly the states that are lagging behind Nigeria. Now, for that, let me give a general advice, right? What I would say in closing is that, in terms of fact allocation to states in 2024 and 2025, that's not in question. To mid-year 2025. But as we have it now, many states cannot still pay that capital projects over the current debt. They allocate more money to big infrastructure now. You must be able to prioritize and moderate your spending. Yes, I agree. 60% of the total budget should be on infrastructure. But we must also ensure that efforts that is not necessary in a dire state. So this stage should be prioritization in terms of IGR, in terms of PAC, collect in terms of IGR. On those states is receiving so little that we are saying. Apparently, there will be more capital over recurrent. Allocate more budget in macro economy that affect the people in terms of their capacity to be able to spend, in terms of their living wages, in terms of infrastructure. Nigeria, this is the time to start asking questions. We have to ask
very much. I mean, I don't know how much will have cost me if I had Mr. Olayinka Oscar. Is a chartered economist, positive, but he also said that in January, Nigerians would grumble because the new tax laws will take effect, and sometimes it could take a while. If you don't go to the government to pay your tax, the government will come at you to receive their taxes, whether we like it or not. I said that Nigerians at the start of next year, it could be a bit rough. G and for being my guest on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Now, what is coming? The 4th year anniversary of your Super Dial Mainland 94 amazing years of, being at the forefront of conversations that side. We have no reason being in business. Like my friend would always say, you have no business being in business if you don't call us. Nick is going to have some line of huge guests in the situation. Sani is going to be here from 4 o'clock. And of course, the Kaduna charity. It's unfortunate that we have bandits declared wanted now holding town hall meetings and negotiating peace deal. Mike Okiro joining us in the studio to talk about improving police-citizen relationship in Nigeria. So we've got it in Nigeria, pathways to peace and progress. We're going to look at insecurity and social justice, bridging the gap and fixing the future. And that would be, and by 6 o'clock, I would still come back here to take you through the world of sports. My name is Oᴏᴏᴡ Akinde. Thank you so much, Mr. Congratulations to the sons and daughters at home and in diaspora of Ibadan for the